Classic 350 Reborns have been out for 2 odd years, and I've been hoping to get a call from Royal Enfield now for the last couple of years to see if I can help them out, but so far I've had no luck there. Now you might say, why would Royal Enfield contact me to see what would be a good addition to the new 2024 model bike? Well, I think it'd be quite clear. So if you look over the last, 12 years, I've had 15 Classic 500s, one 535 GT, one Himalayan, 2 650 Interceptors, a Hunter 350, and 3 Classic 350 Reborns. So I would have thought, with that sort of a pedigree, you would expect Enfield would give you a call and say, how can we improve this bike? When you look at it, I had to work on my own thing. I got no call from Enfield, and I decided, bugger it, I'll make my own bike. So this one down here now, we'll go and have a look now. It's a 2023 model, and I call it the Aussie Tracker. And let's go down and take a look, and then I'll tell you why I think it's a better bike than the new 24. What I've done here, to make it I like riding off-road. So the best thing about it is, here's what I've done straight up. More comfortable touring seat. This is the Enfield touring seat, couple $100 there. These mirrors on this one, these are adjustable, so they sort of flip in back, and they're the Royal Enfield touring mirrors. I got this rack, $100 off eBay, that was a good one too, and I think this is how I've tailor-mated this bike. This is a, believe it or not, this bike is in mint condition, 9 months old, and 2023 model with 4,000 kilometres on the clock. Now, I got rid of the chrome mudguards because I figured out here where I'm riding dirt all the time, because this is a dirt tracker, I decided I would put on a used set of mudguards, and I'd give them a little bit of patina, not that bird shit, but this part here, and I'd give them a bit of a rub back to make them sort of look a little bit better. I tossed in the sump guard too, and like I said, I put in Motaz Tractionator adventure tyres front and rear, and the bike really runs well along the dirt, pretty good. So overall, that wasn't much to invest in a good bike, and I really think it is a good bike, and it does what it has to. And I think if you're after something like that, this is the way to go in a 23 model if you want to do a bit of dirt riding. But I'll tell you now what they did to the new 2024. Now, what did Enfield do to the 2024? Well, in horror I saw what they came out with just a couple of days ago, only after that sub said to me, are you going to go out and test the 2024 model? At that stage, I didn't even know they were out. But I checked on the Enfield site, and sure enough, there's a few people reviewing the bikes now, and naturally they're all in all over there in India reviewing, because there's none elsewhere. But here's what I come up with comparing my 23 to the new 24. First off, Enfields give half a dozen or so different ranges of colours. Now, some of the colours are really nice. There's about 2 or 3 maybe nice colours, and the others are silly looking Harlequin colours, where I think it makes the Classic 350 Reborn look more like a clown bike. And what I mean by clown bike, I've got a Honda Grom 125 yellow. That's a clown bike. Some of the colours they've put on these new Classics, they've taken away the old tradition and stuff like that, and I think they've sort of stuffed it up, and they're going in the wrong direction, because when people want to buy this, and stay tuned and sort of keep concentrated here, because I'll tell you in the end how, if they would have contacted me, I would have given 3 tips how to make this into a really good seller. And if you want to, or you deny, or you've got something against what I'm telling you on that line, leave a comment there and tell me if you like what the 3 things I've mentioned. But first off, the colour of these new ones are Harlequin sort of things, and they're, like I said, just more like clown bikes. I don't even know why you'd want to buy some of the offbeat colours, because most people who buy these Classic 350s or even the 500s, they're more mature riders. They want to go back for the trip back in time. They don't want to go to the time when it was surrounded by hippies and that all the time, and that's what they're given now. Paint jobs, they look like they were done by hippies from the late 60s, maybe early 70s. So I think it's a very big deal. The bike's been out 2 years and they give it a colour change. So what else did they do? Well, let's take a closer look. For the 2024 model, Enfield's gone really out. They've got the colour change. the front headlight, which is halogen now, is going to LED. Now, why would you want to put a silly LED headlight on one of these bikes when you want that classic look? At least at this stage, if somebody comes up to my bike and looks at it with the old bulb style headlight, it does indicate that, you know, this could be an old bike and it could be a restored old bike. But you chuck in an LED headlight, LED indicators and all that sort of crap, well, it's just a total waste of, I don't know, just a waste of a good bike. I think the bike's going downhill now and they're trying to run up, if anything, and copy the Honda GB350, which doesn't look as good as one of these, but if Enfield keep going with their crap, I think they'll end up with a bike which isn't as good as the GB350. And I think the other thing that was brought up, they came in with adjustable levers for the brakes. So here we are, whoopie-doo. We've got the new colour change. We've got the LED headlight and indicators. We've got adjustable grips, and there was one other thing, and I'll show you that now. Something that could be interesting, and I wouldn't probably knock it back if I had the chance. So here in the window of opportunity, there's a selector there that goes from 1 to 5. Now, the only reason I could think, because I couldn't understand when they were talking about it, but what it could be is this. When I had my Halcyon Grey and the Classic 350 Reborn, and also the Marsh Grey, both of them had speedo problems, and both of them had sticky speedos. So what I'm thinking, what maybe happened in the new 2024 model, what Enfield has done has put a speedo indicator warning light in there, which apparently goes from 1 to 5. So I would say what happens if your new speedo sticks up to maybe 5 times, they've got it on record, and then that speedo will be replaced. Now that's the only thing, and if that's the case, that's a pretty good idea, because how many people have had sticky speedos on that don't work in the Enfields and they're running the same sort of one? But now they've compensated for that, so putting in that speedo error indicator warning thing, and that means when you take it back to the dealer and say, oh, I've got a sticky speedo, and he looks at it and takes it for a no, it's not doing that now. There's records there on the new 2024 model that speedo has stuck. So I reckon that's a great idea. Say, for example, if they would have contacted me and said, you've had a lot of Enfields over the years, what would you like to see on a Classic 350 Reborn, because it's taken the place of the old UCE 500? Well, I would have come up with this. Number one, and I tell you what, it's not hard to work this out, but number one would have been, if I was going ahead doing it, would be, I would have asked them to fit the tune from the Hunter 350 and whip it into the Classic 350. That would have made the bike more get up and go friendly, and it would have been a lot better bike. So that would have been the first thing I would have said, we want the Hunter 350 tune in this bike. But it gets better. Next thing I would have said to them, is there any way you can fit a Kickstarter onto this bike? Now, if it is, I'm prepared to pay extra for it, but I'd really like to go for the old school style. And is there any area or any way we can fit a Kickstarter? Because that way we could do the old trip back in time, and that would be really cool. Get rid of the dinosaur clutch and put in a slip and assist, which would be really handy, instead of getting this excessively amount of hand pressure to do a clutch pull on this one. Just say they said they could do those 3 things. We got a Kickstarter, we got the Hunter 350 tune, and we've got a slipper clutch, but we're going to charge you $500 if we go ahead and do it. I would say most people would be very happy to pay for it, because that would make a good bike into a great bike or a better bike, and everyone overall would be really happy with that thing. So that's where I think Enfield made the mistake. So overall, you know, they've had these bikes out a fair while now, and they're a good looking bike. There's no risk about it. I enjoy riding this bike. They're a bike you can get along the road, run along at 100 kilometres an hour when conditions are good and that, and you'll enjoy yourself on it. But just by coming in and throwing a few minor things on it with a LED headlight indicators and a bit of a paint job and adjustable levers, you know, it's just like almost we're too lazy to do anything. We'll give it a colour change. This is what happened in the classic 500s all the time. All they did year after year, changed the colour, and that was it, or a couple of nuts and bolts on the bike. And this would have been a really good bike, because it'd be really interesting to see how this bike could perform with a Hunter 350 tune, rather than going out of the way and think, oh, I'll do cams, I'll do other sorts of stuff to it, I'll change the sprockets and all that. All you do is want a little bit of power so you can go along the road and enjoy yourself, that's all. So you don't need a huge amount of power, but I think they missed the target by not doing that. So that's my thoughts on what's going to happen on the 2024. And would you say, is it worth getting rid of your 23 or 22 to buy it? Only if you're chasing colour, because the only thing I can see on the new 24 is good as the bit they put on the indicator there, or the display panel, to let you know if your speedo sticks. So apart from that, it's been a good day. Cheers.